Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? Welcome to the #1 morning show to get you guys ready for the market. None other than pre-market prep. Let's go ahead. Let's dive on in and what today's show is going to bring us. We'll talk about the overnight action, of course. Energy stocks led yesterday. Will they lead again? We'll take a look to see what is expected in the jobs number, and of course, watch the reaction as it hits the tape at 8:30. We'll take a look at Levi. We'll take a look. Also, GameStop with some firing going on there. Upstart trading lower. We'll talk about exactly why that is. And Oxy, looks like Buffett is having himself a buffet in Oxy. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And Elon, what's going on with Twitter? I heard some bots out there. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the Twitter situation. Hit the like. We also got Frank Holmes today. Let's get it started. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
All right, let's get it started. Let's bring on Joe Elconin and talk about the market. What's going on, Joe?
Good morning, Money Mitch. We're doing okay this morning. I mean, we're down a few handles, 475, right at 3,900. Not big deal. We had a nice rally yesterday, a little bit of sell-off overnight. We're just hanging out just above mid-range here. So important level on the upside during that jobs number will be that high from Thursday at 39.14 and a quarter. And support 32.8275. I'll call that, minus support level. That's your daily pivot. We'll see if that holds up through the jobs number and through the remainder of the day. We have crude in just flat 102.70. Nice rally yesterday. Trying to add on today. Gold up 50 cents at 17.40.20. Silver in the red, sneaking into the 18 handle, down 10 cents at 19.08 and a half. Let's see, did they get into the 18 handle yet? Low as 1894. Bitcoin, decent day yesterday, holding on to the gains, but giving some back, down 305 at 21,550. Ethereum futures, they're in the red by $25.50. Kind of quiet and overall in the commodities and the cryptos this morning.
Yeah, we definitely saw a swing in there, and a lot of the Bitcoin stocks are seeing a little bit of a bounce. We'll see if that kind of can continue a rally there in Bitcoin. I know that we were kind of keeping an eye to see what happens with the overall market getting a little bit of rally, with Bitcoin rally also. But let's get into some action. We can talk a little bit before we get into everything that we the micro catalysts out there, but energy stocks led yesterday after getting a little bit of a bounce. How are you seeing oil now? How are those futures?
Boy, oh boy. Well, let's go to the stock specific news first on this, and then we can talk the overall market.
Of course. So at least specifically in oil, we could talk about, of course, Buffett. I talked about it. Warren Buffett stepping up here. I talked about he's been getting a little bit of Occidental Petroleum, buying another 12 million shares here, raising its stake to 18.7 here. So Oxy up about 2% in the pre-market. How are we looking there on
good?
On Oxy
It's trading up nearly a buck. He obviously pegs the value of this company at much higher. I don't know how much higher, but he's just buying it. He's accumulating it. He wants the stock. It sure looks like he wants the company. I don't know, what talks or anything that's been going on. I'll just go technical here. That's all you can do. It's because on some days when he does these things, it sells, it really goes. And then other days it kind of sells off. Today, You are getting the hops a little bit. And I'm not going to look. The pre-market high is we're trading right at the pre-market high. My area of interest would be just above this. And you guys can see the pair of highs here at 62.78 and 62.97. So just under under that $63 level. I don't know if there's a big order there perched at 63. Hasn't really taken back half of the move yet. That would be quite a bit higher than that. But so if you're looking for a target and you're looking for follow through on this, look for 62.85. And then on the downside, it kept up yesterday. It's drawn the day. Oil's strong. I mean, if you're looking for a gap fill on the upside, the top of the range from yesterday, 62.14 would be the gap fill on that.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get into some other news. I do want to go ahead and dive into, of course, the expected numbers. Let's talk a little quickly about those expected numbers in the job. That's going to come out at 8:30 Eastern. We'll be on top of it here, but I do want to give you guys the expected numbers a little bit earlier, just in case you don't know them. Expected to show employers added 250,000 positions in June, which would make it one of the smallest gains since the pandemic recovery. Unemployment rate is estimated to remain unchanged at 3.6%. So keep that on your radar. We'll see what happens when that hits the tape. That's going to come in at 8:30 Eastern time. And I don't have Dennis today, so I might have to do his rant. Is the growth? Is it by the dip? Is it the technology rally? I did see technology continue to rally, so got to give a shout out to my man Triple D. He has been on top of kind of the growth push, right, on ARKK. Let's take a look at that. I'll try to do the talk for him today.
Well, first, just regarding the jobs number, yeah, that's important data. But we all know that the CPI data. I mean, I guess what the market would like to see is a little uptick in inflation, maybe. Or not inflation, uptick in the unemployment, economy cooling down a little bit. I don't see that. It still seems like there's a lot of jobs being offered out there. We'll get a move out of it. It'd be important. I mean, here's a Friday. We've had a good week so far, a shortened week. And, this is going to determine whether, we're just going to push higher on this move. A lot of times the market closes on the highs or the lows from the week. So far, we are very close to the high of the week. That was 39.16 and a quarter. Not much up there as far as resistance goes for about another 40 handles. So I don't know. I don't know if this is, is going to be, enough to push us forward. I don't think a bad number, a good number. I'm not looking for a huge reaction in the market, but we will find that out in about 20 minutes. The ARC is, man, technical. We talked about it coming down halfway of that move 40. It did a little bit more. And this thing is just a line hugger. I mean, we just went back up to the top of this range here, 46.90. I couldn't have drawn this in any better. This high was 46.94. Top of the range, and this has been the top of the range since May. So there you go. You bust out above 47, or is this just a trading range from Kathy? You really got to keep an eye on it today. Only trading down 29 cents here. The other thing is, you're getting a running started into it, right? You're only 29 cents away from unchanged, close near the high of the session. And then of course after that, you want to see it get above. You want to get above that 47 area and make it support and hold there for a couple days, and then make more of a journey north. But man, let's just call it. That's a huge number for ARC. That 47. You can see it right there, and we'll determine whether it's just a trading range or off to the races.
All right, I see you guys chat. I just didn't want to interrupt Joel there. Want to give you guys a little insight. Dennis is just missing out right now. He might join in a little bit later, but he's busy at the moment. And you guys know Triple D. If he's not here at this moment, It's important. So he'll be back. Don't worry, team. He'll definitely be back.
He says Rogers Internet cell services are down in Canada.
Oh, it literally could be it.
Is that true?
We're trying to get we're trying to get confirmation here. We don't have a confirmed reason why.
I think that's a joke.
But for right now, I will let you guys know if he's out, it's for a reason, right? It's something important. Let him handle that. He'll be back like always. Triple D will be here for us. But I can give us a rant. Let's take a look at ARKK. What has been hot in this and what is not, right? I think it's important to kind of look where is the trade really coming from? What's pushing ARK, right?
You know what? Rogers Communication Services down for thousands of users.
Well, let's just say if that's the truth, you're going to have a little bit of a pissed off Dennis this morning.
Oh man,
he's gonna be a little upset because I'm sure he's trying to get his trades and figure that whole situation out. So let him work on that, guys. I think it's more important than doing the show right now.
There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to drive. He needs to drive to Michigan right now. So
he can't because he can't even call in his orders.
Yeah, because his phone's not working. I mean, I'm sure he'll figure out something. He's probably working on that as we speak. So let's focus on the market. I know that Triple D will be good. Give him some love, guys. Probably let him know on Twitter. We're missing you. Hit him up at Triple D.
I just got a text from him just after that. Major internet. What's the symbol for Rogers? Is it RCI? Let's go short it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it is. It's RCI. Yeah, Rogers Communication.
Is it down?
I don't know. They can't get one now. It's just in a tight range.
It's down on service at least.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I mean, I guess he just needs to get a satellite, but the show must go on. I mean, at least he got a text out, so that's something better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
I get to talk today. All right. Let's go.
Rants on today. All right. So really quickly, I'm going to show you guys ARKK here. What has been hot in ARKK recently? So it's a lot of it is this biotech names like Phase. You can see Beam. I'll just pull it up here. Beam has been really doing really good. Let me look at the daily chart so you guys can see how this has really been pushing off. You can do CRISPR. So a lot of these biotech names, which we have been pointing out how biotechs have been really strong, have been pushing. What else has it been pushing in ARKK? Well, I'm sure the Tesla move didn't hurt it, right? In just a couple of days from Tuesday where we were at towards where we're at now, that's a good like 12% raise. That's going to help ARKK. And ARKK also has a lot of these kind of growth software names like Unity and Roblox. So keep these on your radar too. We'll see how these kind of continue performing. But ARKK is definitely kind of an indicator, good indicator to keep watch on this growth trade. If I see ARKK continue to run, I'm going to continue to see that we have some growth looking well. Square also kind of getting off the floor, helping it out here. It's about 12% move since Friday. It doesn't look too bad there in some of these names, but keep them on watch. We don't know when these are going to turn around or if these will just continue to run and not get back towards those lows. So what do you?
Pull up the Zoom chart here.
The Zoom. Did you see that chart? At least I pointed out yesterday. You weren't here at the close, Joe, but I pointed out this inverse head and shoulders pattern here on the daily. What do you see on Zoom?
Look at that. I mean, you just all these tops here, all these pesky tops, and I'll just go to the closest area of those tops, and that's 124. I mean, yeah, you have these over here. You don't want to get too numbery, but I think if you can get the momentum to get over this 124, then I'm not too worried about these. Now that's still $3, over $3 away. So who knows? They get a strong market. Let's see. He switched houses and Bell Internet is working. It's Rogers that's out. So buy Bell, short Rogers.
That's the arbitrage of the day.
Yeah. He had to run with this computer. Oh man.
You guys see Triple D just like running down the street. He has his desktop under one arm. He has one monitor under the other. He has his headset on. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Gonna get it."
Fast market there. And yeah, so let's keep an eye on that 123 and a half in Zoom. Good day yesterday. If you're looking to buy it on the cheap, or you want to just protect some profits, double bottom at 116.50 area. The lowest from the last two sessions. So moving away from that. Zoom now. I mean, now the monthly here, not even going to start drawing in retracements on this thing. What was last month's high? Was last month's high right here too? Last month's high was 23.73. So those other highs were back in April. So got a nice number there for Zoom. S&P's just kind of inching our way up to unchanged here. Only down 2 3/4 handles. That close 39.05 yesterday. That was our highest close that we've had since back in June when we had 39 at 16 and a quarter close.
Let's go to the disaster of the day. Upstart.
Yeah.
Upstart, or downstop, as I used to call it. Upstart shares trading lower as the company cuts preliminary Q2 revenue outlook. Now the revenue outlook is looking at 228 million versus 295 million, and the high end there was 305 million. So missing by over 68 million there, changing their guided revenue. That's definitely going to turn and have some analysts changing their ratings. JPM Securities downgrading the stock from market outperform to market perform. What do you see here on Upstart?
Oh man, I mean that's a big cut. I mean that is a big old cut. I don't know if they're going to buy the dip in this one. You're getting some preliminary buying interest right off the hop, and that's always a good sign. You don't have the. We're looking at the upper left chart here. It's not it's not a step down seller. You washed out the panic, right? The panic sellers took it down from 32 to just under 27, right? So the pre-market low comes in at 26.50. What do you have to lead on? You have this 26.78 low for May 12th. So that's where they're showing some preliminary buying interest. If they busted through there, then you got to look at the ultimate low of the move here at 25.43. That was made on May 11th. I don't know. That's a huge, huge cut. So I look for those levels, and then it'd be one of those situations where the person that's trying to be patient here, bringing it around 27. If they can't get their stock and they start to bid it up, then you'll get a little bit of a rally on this. If you're scooping it up, off the low, you're just scalping it here. Just be aware, 28.79 has been the rebound high. So 26.50 to 28.79. That's the projected early range here for UPST.
It'll be interesting to watch Upstart. I did see a firm get hit. I'm not sure it's exactly on this, but I have a feeling that this had a little bit to do with there. If you know Upstart, it actually goes under credit services.
Yeah.
So I think this had an effect on the relationship there with the firm.
Yeah, I mean it's they're down $1.50. This thing just seems to move $2-3. Either way, nice move so far this week. For you firm holders, I mean, all these charts just look the same. They're just trying to rally, and then something like this happens. I don't think you're out of the woods in that's 24, and you were approaching that yesterday on the close, coming up to 23.66. Might poke your head through 24. Didn't. Now you got more work to do. If you're looking to buy this one today, man, yesterday's low was way down at 20 and a quarter. Maybe get a shot, at the 21 handle. But for long term, we'll keep an eye out, see if this can bust out over 24.
Okay, Chaz, I did see your comment in the chat saying that be careful because this could be like what you see out of the earnings coming out of here, right? we could see this as a trend, seeing these stocks just getting hit hard on earnings, especially if you're starting to see more and more of those revenue outlooks just get cut. We'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at Levi here, coming in and raising their dividend from 10 cents to 12 cents. So it looks like the jeans are doing good. At least it's interesting in retail because we're getting mixed stories, right? And so here Levi actually beat on the EPS of 29 cents. Their estimate was 23 cents. Sales at 1.47 billion, beating the 1.43 billion, and raising their dividend there.
Mitch, I know you don't remember her, but and I don't know who's been around. I don't even know if Spinner remembers. We had this guest on a while ago, several years ago. Her name was Kristen Bentz, and she was like a fashion person. And she commented on like the fashion stocks and the retailing stocks. I don't know whatever happened to her. But somehow we were talking about shorts, right? And I don't know, Levi's stock. I don't even know if it was around then. And I mentioned that from a long time ago. I had jean shorts. Oh, she went crazy on me. She absolutely yelled at me. Does anybody remember that? That was 5-6 years ago. Maybe we'll have to try and dig her up. I don't know if I still have.
I'm going to dig up that clip. I want to see Joe get yelled at.
Yeah, it made fun of me. George, she called him. I don't know if anybody in the chat remembers that, or I don't even know if Kristen's if she's still in the markets. But Levi's got a pop, right? And it got a nice pop. There was nothing in there. I like to see like the immediate reaction, right? The immediate reaction took it to 17.28. You just backed off a little bit, right? Made another little poke there in the last session. I have nothing there for you. I have absolutely nothing there for you at 17.28. If you're looking for more, if you want more through the pre-market high, 1774 was a high not too long ago. That was on June 28th. And I think holding 17 would be interesting because that was a close that you had on the 27th of last month. You broke down into the upper 15 handle. So, hey, why not hold 17? Actually, there's two highs there. There's 1759 and 1774. So there you go.
Let's go to GameStop here, and they're pulling the old split, then do some firing trick here. GameStop firing its CFO and announcing layoffs as a part of an aggressive turnaround plan. GameStop has fired Chief Financial Officer Mike Rescreplo. It's going to be interesting to see how GME trades today after pushing up yesterday from a 4-to-1 split. It got back above the 130. That was the area where I was seeing resistance early on in the day. I wonder if it plays resistance today.
Oh boy, down 7 sticks already. The reaction low, once again, it's well off the low. 120.61 is your pre-market low, and now your after hours low. Now you're way above that. So someone definitely came in and bought the dip on this one. How's it look from yesterday's range? Boom. You know what? That was right in the air. Wow. Someone's pegging 122 here because the low from yesterday was 21.81. And then they hit the news and they took it, boom, right to the low of 21.81 and probably took it a little bit lower. Yeah, 20.61. So you still got to respect that support. I just don't understand. They had, this news yesterday. I mean, they come out with like the split news yesterday and it comes out today. So I don't know. It's not exactly smooth sailing there over at GME. And that's it. If you get a rally, I'm sure a lot of people would like to see that closing price. People that took it home were looking for the 2-day move for GME.
We can continue going to your favorite, Elon Musk and Twitter.
Buddy.
Your buddy right there. Twitter dropping on Musk's bid in jeopardy. Wedbush says original offer is out the window. Elon Musk's deal to buy Twitter is in serious jeopardy, being reported by 3 people familiar with the matter. And this all coming, of course, on a conclusion that Twitter's figures on spam accounts are not verifiable. What do you think? I mean, we've been talking about how Musk is trying to see his way out of this deal. Looks like at least he got the spam accounts not being verifiable. Could you imagine?
Oh man, I think he's just thinking, what did I do? Like I'm the richest man in the world, got everything going for me, and one day I decided I want to wake up and buy Twitter, and I mean, it's just a huge undertaking, and if anything, he's trying to get a lower price. His stock has taken a haircut from it. They spiked it down under 36. Very hard to trade this technically because the news comes, right? And then it moves it. So I mean, we've talked about it, your risk rewards on this. And when it comes out news like this, your reward is, I don't think it's 54.20 anymore. It's lower. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm just pray to the trading investing gods that I'm out of this thing, and I got my second opportunity when he did it. So that's it. That's all you can say. I don't know. Like some people say, oh, it's going to 25.30 if the deal doesn't go through. They're also laying off people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The talent team. So nothing good. I mean, nothing good is coming out of that company.
I honestly starting to think that the best result might be for at least for Elon's outlook to probably pay that billion in the kind of the fee to get out of the trade, right? I mean, that might actually have to be the best outlook. I don't know what his lawyers are telling him right now, but at least in my eyes, it might be that hey, you kind of have to give Twitter $1 billion here, pay the fee, and get out. But
yeah, I mean, write it off as I mean, no one likes to give away a bill, but when you got as many bills as he does, then not a big deal, right?
Not
all
a
right,
big
let's
deal.
Do we want to sneak in one more stock here before the jobs number?
Well, I don't want to get yelled at for being late on the jobs number, so pushing everything to the side here, guys. We got about maybe a minute 30 for just about a minute here. So we got about a minute for the jobs number to be released. Let's go back to the expectations here. Expected 250,000 positions in June. If you guys remember, in May, employers added 390,000. So just to see how that's dropping off, right? I think, a lot of people are paying attention to CPI, and I don't think that's a wrong thing to do. But I also think that a little part of me thinks that the jobs numbers are actually more important here. Why? Because that to me would get a confirmation about recession, because everyone wants to battle about the GDP. But of course, if the jobs number starts pointing that, hey, we're losing jobs, unemployment's going through the roof, would you even question that we're in recession at that point?
Yeah, like I said, I just like the eyeball test, for me, doesn't say that. I mean, I guess it depends where you're at. In what part of the country. I mean, there's like there's shortages of workers, right? If anything. So we'll find out. I got the 1 minute up. You guys know I hate the 1 minute chart, but for illustration purposes, I will keep the 1 minute chart up. You can see we've been 39.04. Well, why is that relevant? Is because the close was 39.05. So that's why that's relevant there. On the 1 minute, it's traded through it quite a bit. On a rally here, what you need to do is what you need to keep an eye on is if we take out the high from Thursday. That's 39.14 and a quarter. Here we go. It looks like we're jumping the gun. We're getting some negativity here. The first move is down. Someone jumped the gun here, took her down. Not at the low of the day. Those are those. They don't like it. It's not good. Come on. The low's 82.75. We're coming up on that low. We haven't hit it yet. The low at 82.75 is being protected. We had a touch just under 86.
Got the non-farms here at June at 372,000 versus 268,000 estimate. Prior was 390. So it looks like they're coming in at least over there on the non-farm payrolls here. I'll put the numbers up for us.
Better than expected? Worse than expected?
Better, at least. Well, the estimate was 268,000 on the non-farms.
Uh-huh.
So better than expected, because at least the the estimate was 268,
Okay.
372 added. Shouldn't be a bad number there, but the prior was 390. Shows a little bit of a slowdown, but at least from the estimates are off here.
Yeah, and the unemployment rate stayed the same. I mean, you
Yeah.
got a dip there. Haven't
Uh,
taken out the pre-market low. That's being defended here. 82.75. They made a poke at it. Where did we get to? We got just under that. What's that little wick there? That little wick came in at 85 and a half. So
you muted yourself, Joel. Joel. Joel, my friend, I can't hear you. You got muted. The old
I'm
mute
sorry.
trick.
Am I back? I
Yeah,
must
you're
have
back.
over it. I just said that they're gunning for the pre-market low at 82.75, and I think things open up to the downside. Sure, Street's not liking it. As of right now, Street's not liking the report under 82.75. Thursday's interday low is not down for another 16 handles. So right now there's a dip, and it's not being bought yet. So that's what we got. We're down 17 handles and trying to get some upticks here. We can now get rid of that 1 minute chart because it drives me crazy. And we can go back to the normal chart, like the 15-minute. Okay. All right.
This is an interesting move here because, at least from my understanding, right, if we're expecting 268,000 added, we get 372,000 added. Wouldn't that necessarily be a good thing there? At least in my understanding of the numbers here. I don't know if I'm wrong here, Joel. Maybe tell me I'm wrong, but the, it doesn't seem to kind of add up to what the price action is that we're seeing out there. But it could just be
No. I mean, so the way I look at it, I mean, what was going to take the market had a good rally this week. I don't know what they wanted out of this number for the rally to continue. But right now, it's just giving you, the indications that, this, and also we talked about how light the volume was on the rally yesterday. The indications where the market's acted today that was just a bear market rally, light volume, bear market rally. So that's what we got on our hands right now. Who knows what happens at 9:30 when the real liquidity comes in? But
agree.
yep, they don't like
The,
what they're
the
seeing
chat's
right now.
mentioning the chat's mentioning too, and this is the outlook that now you're seeing what a continued strong job environment. So this leaves more room for the Fed to
Uh
increase
huh.
those height rates. So that could be why we are seeing that downside action. Good. That's what it's all about, right? Had the conversation there, and I will go ahead and say, like Dennis will say, nobody knows, but we'll keep watching there. Let's go ahead. Let's get out of the jobs number reaction here. We'll kind of keep watch, but we do have our guest today. Let's dive on into that. I'm going to get the banner ready here. Looks like I didn't have it ready here. Let me get it up here.
Okay.
2 seconds. Boom, boom. Got it here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's bring on Frank Holmes, Executive Chairman of Hive Blockchain, CEO and Chief Investment Officer of U.S. Global Investors. Welcome to the show, Frank. Welcome back.
It's great to be with y'all.
All right, Frank, we got a lot to talk about here. Just just for before we get to the airlines and the cryptocurrencies and overall, what's your overall take here on the jobs number, the reaction, potential recession? What are you looking at? What key indicators are you relying on?
Well, there's no doubt that we're in a recession, but the recession is not sort of broad based, and it's not going to be like 2008, 2009 with rising rates, where there's going to be a huge global credit crisis. I don't see that. I see that there's lots of policy issues to do with climate change that originally started out of the EU, and I think what recently just happened last week was a Supreme Court pushing a lot of that regulatory world to the states away from the beltway, and that will basically prevent a big recession because it'll create innovation and competition amongst the various states. And I think that that's much more healthy than having one central control mechanism for all this money and regulations being taken out of the system and spent in the system.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the airline industry, right? And one thing I keep thinking about the airline industry is the higher fuel costs, right? Now some of them hedge, some of them don't. Let's talk about the cost of fuel. So I don't know. Are the airports so busy because there's just less flights and less pilots, and they got to cram people in, or people back traveling, and business travel is starting to come back.
Business is back. We're well over 2 million people a day being cleared. I think there's an emotional binge tourism and travel. I just came back from Europe,
Hmm.
and it's absolutely crazy what you have to spend for a hotel. Which you trying to get any type of services. There's a shortage of people that have gone back to work. They want, if they come back to work, cash. They're still getting €1,000 a month, and so they have a real challenge to that. And so when we look here in the U.S., people are afraid. If you remember, it was only a month ago there was the fears coming out again that another COVID variant is coming out in the fall and it's going to be bad, and so people are saying, "I got to travel now. I got to get out." Because I don't know if I'll be locked down in the future. So you do have this huge binge that's taking place, and I think that is probably going to last throughout this summer. But I also think that the fears of inflation have tempered a lot of people, and so they're now traveling by buses and they're driving their cars, but the roads are packed. So even with higher fuel prices, to go out and travel.
All right, you got a potential way here to play the Jets ETF. Why don't you give us just to take advantage of volatility? Why don't you explain that to us?
It's a great point because what we do have in this big ecosystem around Jets, and remember, Jets is listed in New York Stock Exchange, also Mexico City, also in Peru and London, England. That brand is sort of truly a global brand, and it has this interesting liquidity to it. So that big ecosystem attracts traders. Oil prices go up, okay, Jets all of a sudden sells down. Oil prices fall, Jets start bidding up. And you have a lot of now coming into is covered writing, buying Jets and selling calls against it because a 3-month roll gives a lot of protection on the upside, on the downside, and gives you a high yield if it just goes flat. So I think it's really interesting that we have position players that say that the airlines are still cheap on a relative to trains and trucks industry, and there's such a backlog for shipping things around products and goods and services. So I think that the Jets has this robustness to it of a lot of traders today.
All right, Frank, I'm going to go ahead and start diving into Hive blockchain here. Can you let us know what you got in your recent June 2022 production figures?
Well, I know that we outproduced for the past quarter because we went public yesterday for the month and then for the quarter, most of our peers. And a lot of times now they don't include our Ethereum, which is a huge profit center for us. I mean, we're talking about we went from 90%, 92% gross margins down to 50 with this fall in Ethereum, Bitcoin. But as a company, we still have positive cash flow. and we are still, we hold all of our Bitcoin. We didn't have to sell. Core Scientific sold 27,000 coins. Other people had margin calls pledging. So I think from a position, we stay green and clean where we are. We continue to slowly and just modestly grow our production. We're still doing over $300,000 a day in revenue with $150,000 of costs. So we have this free cash flow. So I feel good. I think the industry is really dealing with almost like 2008, 2009 housing crisis, where everything was so leveraged. We had all these players come into the ecosystem offering yield and really high attractive yields. And now litigation is coming out that it was a Ponzi scheme, that there's this sort of the high leveraged 100 to 1, more like I wrote about yesterday, long-term capital, which was a 100 to 1 leverage. But the issue here is that a lot of retail people came in and they were trying to get these high yields of 8 to 12%. And that's all come crashing down because there was no compliance. There was no regulatory like you would have over a broker, over a bank, and they were hanging their shingle out as if they were a savings and loans company. So I think that sort of catharsis has hurt the whole industry and pushed down prices. But it appears we're close to a bottom here. And we saw yesterday some of these crypto mining stocks jump 15 to 25%.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you, how do you see the environment overall right now? You just stated a big important part of that. I appreciate you covering that. I think it's also important for retail traders to hear that. So where do you see Bitcoin in the environment right now, and where do you see it going in the future? Are we in a prolonged winter, as some may call it?
Yeah, I think the winter is between, the bottom is very close, or it's going to create a bottom here, because what happens, you have all the falling prices, and then you start getting into the litigation that's coming out, class action against the Solana ecosystem, against Celsius, etc. That's usually a bottom, and so I think that between now and the fall, we'll get a bottom. There'll be regulatory pronouncements coming out against exchanges, which I think is great. That's where the onboarding takes place. And I think the industry will then have its next surge. We had this, in 2017, this huge run up, and there was all these tokens were coming out that were really securities, and they basically all capitulated and fell down. And Clayton, who was the head of the SEC, went after the ball and cleaned up that whole sort of, I call cowboys that are out there, and we're going to go through the same process here. But the Bitcoin, the sort of the essence of Bitcoin as a decentralized global asset, that's not going away, and Ethereum as the backbone for the blockchain and digital world, that's not going away. A lot of these other characters that are peripheral, they're going away, and we'll rebuild for next run.
Okay, let's shift over here to shipping, and you got I think I got this up on the screen here. All right, look at that!
Look at that move,
Frank. Yeah, Frank's on fire. Okay,
going to the waves.
Yeah. Okay, so the CETF here. In containers, spot rates for containers leaving major China ports are off their peaks from earlier as customer spending habits change here. Tell us what we're looking at here, Frank, and what the implications are.
Well, this is a great inflation to me. They have tremendous pricing power. A lot of the climate change policies that started coming out a few years ago after COVID really hit the shipping industry with less ships. And ships basically carry 80% of the products we use. And then we had earlier this year, China shut down again, and now it's just opening up. And we could see a pop in luxury goods. We had negative narrative on Target and having old inventory, and I think that's just short-lived. You still see that there's such congestion in LA at the seaport, how long they have to wait. And I think that we're going to see a lot of airlines have been converting old airplanes into shipping cargo. I know for Hive, in buying product and moving it from Asia over to Sweden and places like that, we saw the cost every month going up for shipping by airlines, and they pass on all their costs to you. So any rise in the price of oil, you have to pay for that. Insurance, you have to pay for that. And so I think it's going to be a lot further down the road before this gets back to equal. So this is we saw one of the largest shipping companies announce yesterday a 70% growth in the past 6 months in their revenue.
I have a question here, Frank. Do you think that the recent relief in oil will play a factor in this?
Well, that will really help jets more so than this industry, because this industry passes all those costs on to you immediately. The airlines, if they keep passing on those costs, they will get a slowdown in people flying. But people need to have products, and it's a monopoly. If you think about it, and actually it's an oligopoly. A few ships control a big part of the movement of 80% of all products in the world. And so I think that it's a unique industry, and I think a lot of the UN and climate change policies have basically embedded inflation into the movement, and we have these logistics issues. So then along comes Putin invading Ukraine. That just adds more pressure, not only to oil and delivery of oil, but the shipping and flying around the world. And so I think this is really a unique product. And whenever I've seen it where supply is restricted, but global demand is still growing, even if it's growing modestly, you get big price action in this category.
So one thing, and we have a description here. I'll just show you guys the image here, and you're looking for global dry bulk demand to increase. Why is this happening, and what should we pay attention to see this increase?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I wrote about this over 18 months ago, is that some of the UN policies removed 25% of all the ships to move 80% of all the products in the world. That is, if you have a certain oil, you can't come into US ports or into Singapore or Amsterdam. But the world continues to have babies and continues to need products. So they have pricing power. You want to move products, they can pass that on. So that's what makes this industry, and it's going to take a while. And there's new rules coming out. I was talking to people last week in Bermuda that their big boats, will not be able to come close to American shores with these policies unless they go to natural gas. And each of these big yachts need to spend about $3 million to upgrade to be able to come close to shores. Well, that's not just the US, that's the world. So you're going to have this sort of slowdown for big cargo ships right down to these luxury yachts, where they can go and what they can do.
All right, let's wrap it up here with gold. I mean, inflation hedged? No, nothing. Down, back at its low, back working its way towards 1700 here, down $6.30. What's up? What's going on with the gold bugs?
It's a great, it's one of those sort of fascinating developments, and that is physical gold and physical silver is in short supply. In fact, even pennies are in short supply. You go to a Nike store and they don't want to give you change. They don't have pennies for you. They tell you in saying with some of the banks, they don't have coins. We really see this in silver and gold, and you see physical offtake being quite substantial. So why is it the futures market keeps selling down the price of gold? 40% of all demand for gold is fear. And that fear is usually correlated inversely to the US dollar. So the US dollar has been on a tear, and inversely gold comes down. And it's never really sustainable for long, for about 9 months. And then all of a sudden you get this correction in the dollar and you get gold going back up. Last year, gold was up on average 4%, but between two periods, the beginning and end of the year, it was down. So everyone said gold was down, but the gold producers are making a ton of money. So I think if you look at cash flow multiples or earnings multiples, gold mining stocks are extremely undervalued. 60% of all the gold producers, I follow over 100 of them, have free cash flow. So the industry is very healthy and strong. The price of gold is coming off because of the dollar trade, that the fear trade, but the love trade is still very big. It's exceptionally big. And the only big real physical supply is coming out of Russia. Russia needs to buy armaments, and so they're cutting deals with China and India, trying to sell gold beneath the market, just to get some products and certain things they need to come into their country. And so we've seen policies out of Switzerland or the U.S. pushing Switzerland not to accept physical gold from Russia.
Frank Holmes here, Executive Chairman, Hive Blockchain, CEO and Chief Investment Officer at U.S. Global Investors. Thank you for coming on, like always, Frank.
Thank you, and please know you guys do a great job on cover writing, and I think a lot of these products we talk about, are phenomenal because they're highly volatile, have big premiums for cover writing.
Thank you, like always. Appreciate that extra.
Cheers.
All right, Joel, we're seeing continued leakage after that.
Yeah, we did.
number.
We did. Yeah. What was the was?
Oh, Joel, the mute button again. Mute. Joel, the mute, my friend. I might have to get my man a mic set up like mine, so he doesn't have to worry about the mute anymore.
This thing. We took out the low that we had talked about, and I was looking for us to get to the previous day's intraday low. You guys all know what the difference is between that. The intraday low was a low that's established at 9:30 a.m. Right? I keep track of that between 9:30 and the 4 o'clock session. And that was 66.50. So far, we got to 68. We got a little bit of a bounce, and that's what we got. We got a bounce off the 68, so we'll be keeping on that. Long ways to go to get back to unchanged. A lot of things in the red. Crude has slipped in the red. All your big components. I see Oxy still holding on to some gains here, still up 80 cents off the war news, but starting to fade a little bit from that major resistance point we were talking about.
Ticker time. You guys throw up a ticker or two. We will touch it before we get into
Sure.
and get on out of here. One that I'm going to keep watch. I've talked about it consistently. Walmart over 125.50. What do you see on that chart for me, Joel?
Which one?
Walmart.
Oh, is it still stuck in this area?
It's still stuck there.
Oh,
Keeps doing the little fakes right above in the intraday, but we don't get to close above that 125.50.
No. Man, we had been talking about this. This is an earnings whooping, and man, I should have kept this up here before, because this is constructive chart, and come on, not that retracement. I just wish I could look at the retracement. I got to work on my Oculus goggles along with Todd Gordon here. It looks like we're clearing that. That was like 123.5, 124. Couple tight ranges over the last few sessions. That's establishing a bid here. We got good support at 124. The lows from the last two sessions. Nothing much on the upside, 126.28. I guess you got a couple pokes there. I don't know. It's a buck off its low from yesterday, building a little bit of a base. I don't know, to another push up. But just a short-term target for today, 126.28. And right now, it doesn't look, as it appears right now, that you're going to get a shot at the pair of lows from yesterday, right at 124. Target, how's Target looking? Because that one,
it bounced yesterday.
It did. It bought 140 back to 150. Let's see. It's had a couple touches at 150, right? 150, 131, 150. You're backing off. I don't know. Gain $10 this week. Let's see if it can clear 150.
All right. They want to know about the Google.
The Google, when's the official split date? I know it's coming up, right?
I believe it's the 21st, but chat, I know you guys probably know more about Google than I do right here on the
Yeah,
split date.
I had
Confirm
it.
it for me, guys. I know
Yep,
you guys.
nice move up with the market yesterday. Nothing major here. You backed off from yesterday's high, which was let's call it 2,400. You want to press through that, and then you get a look a little bit higher. 24, 24 and a quarter would be your next level, but 2,400's been a rollback. But hey, you get the S&Ps moving and get it going to the upside. Why not? It seemed to be having the pre-split rally. If that's going to continue, similar to the Amazon rally, that lasted quite a few days. This was a thing, so it could just be getting going there for the pre-split rally. You made the high on the day of the split, came down and retested. So Google looks like it's is on that pre-split rally.
I have it set for July 15th. I also saw someone in the chat cover that. So that's next week, Friday. So keep that on your radar. We'll see if that can continue.
I think dips are going to be bought in that until that.
All right, let's go to the next one here. I did see, of course, Tesla being mentioned. We could take a look. That's been making a recent run up. What do you see on that?
Yeah, big day yesterday. Trading down today. I mean, just 750. Look at that 750. You hit there last week. So on a relative strength base, well, we really came off hard on Monday. The S&Ps came off hard too. So 756.21. I have that as your major resistance now. You're trading in the red here by 863. So first things first, the close is going to act. I'd say just the way the spoobos are acting, the way the market's reacting. I think that whole area from 733.63, which was your actual close, coincided with another close at the end of June, up to 736.09. I look at that as a sell zone today, and don't know if it has the legs down to get to yesterday's low at 696.63.
Craig LeBlanc, we appreciate the $5 tip here. He wants to check out SARK.
SARK. Okay, well that's probably been going down.
Inverse of the ARKK, right?
Interesting point. I mean, you got SARK. You can look at ARK and you can look at SARK, and you don't have to trade in the dark.
Look at Joel.
I haven't done one of those stupid things in a while. It's the inverse. I mean, it's easier for me to look at the Kathy chart here and say, okay, what's Kathy? Oh, Kathy's trading down $1. So there's a major resistance area for Kathy. It's at top of a trading range that you had since early May. So SARK, if it starts to fail here, then SARK's a buy. I'll just look at it this way. Now, if Kathy starts to come down again, you got 2 daily lows at 43.5. So doesn't look like it has the hops to get down. It's like they're selling it off today, but it's like you feel like there's buyers out there, right? We're already 14 handles off the pre-market low. I don't know if we have the juice to get long on, to get green on the session. But it feels like there's just a minor buy the dip mentality out here this morning. Heading in, I don't know if we got some buying balances or not, but that's what you're looking at. Fed's Bostic. We got some Fed comments.
Just saw this hit the tape. The breaking news, right? Breaking news, guys. The Fed Bostic here is saying that the jobs report showing that the economy is strong, says the economy is starting to slow down. First signs of slowdown is what we need. There's some more comments also hitting the tape. So this is also coming out of Reuters. So just pay attention to see what's going into the open here. You could get more Fed comments.
Yeah, so market still has a lot of momentum. So that means that rates are going up. That's bad for the market.
We're not economists, Joel, like my man
Oh
Dennis
my
would tell
God!
me.
The more I
Not an
follow this,
economist, not following the numbers.
I wish we would just go into recession already and get it over with. But there we go. A rally off the low, back above what was that previous pre-market low. So I don't know. Market doesn't have the hops. Doesn't have the hops to get green. Can we take out that high from yesterday? I will say though, if we do take out that high from yesterday, there's just not much on the dailies here to lean on. You go back to the pair highs from last week, so we'll see. The market squaring off today, rallying on some Fed comments. So we made it. We made it through without Triple D. I hope he's plugged in, Dennis. If you get to listen, I hope you were one of these nights where you were fully hedged, because I would have been tough with no communications. But no pre-market prep plus today. Back on Monday, full swing. Mitch, great job today. Covered a lot of stocks, and everyone have a good and safe weekend.
We'll continue to watch. Joel, sometimes there's a dash for trash. I'm going to be trying to do maybe the opposite, trying to short the trash. So who knows? We'll see what's going on out there. We'll definitely catch up later today. I'll be by myself, but I'll still do at the close. So you guys can tune on in. Guess what, though? I have a special treat for you guys. We are going to do live trading. Normally we have all access, but we're going to do live trading from 9 to just a little bit before 10 a.m. Our quarterly meeting will be going on today. So there will be no programming from around 10 a.m. I'm saying probably till 3:30 the close. I don't expect Moon or Bust being on. That's at 2 p.m. But stay tuned. We will go at least into live trading. I want to do something special for you guys and not leave you with hanging dry. So smash that thumbs on up before you get on out of here. And this stream will take you on over to live trading. Let's go ahead. Let's have some fun and get into this market, because looks like there's some action going on. Let's go.